You know, in some jobs, especially the really tough ones, we kind of just accept that risk is part of the deal. But what if that's just wrong? Today, we're going to tear down the blueprint one company used to hit a safety record so perfect it almost doesn't seem real. And trust me, this isn't about getting lucky. It's about having a rock-solid system.
So let's start with just one number, 0.0. Now, in the rough and tumble world of industrial construction, what could that possibly mean? A profit margin? An error rate? Nope. In this story, it stands for something you almost never ever see: perfection.
So that 0.0, that's the total recordable incident rate, or TIRR, for a company called TruGrid. But that 0 doesn't mean much without context, right? Well, just look at it next to the industry averages, 1.14 for utilities and a whopping 2.3 for general construction. You can see right away, this isn't just a little bit better. They're playing a completely different game. And just so we're all on the same page here, TIRR is the real deal. It's an official OSHA metric. Basically, it tracks any injury at work that needs more than just a Band-Aid. The goal is always to get that number as low as possible. But to keep it at 0 for a long time, that is the holy grail of workplace safety. And this wasn't some fluke on a quiet week. We're talking about an entire year, over 365 days in a row, through more than 200,000 work hours, spread across 5 massive, complex projects. They kept that perfect score. Not one single recordable incident. It's absolutely flawless. Okay, so the million-dollar question is, how on earth did they pull that off? Well, it wasn't by accident. It was a carefully built system, a blueprint, really, standing on 3 core pillars. So let's dive in and break it down.
Pillar number 1 is all about leadership and investment. This is so important. This safety culture didn't just bubble up from the field. No, it was a deliberate, top-down strategy that started with an ironclad commitment from the highest levels of the company.
And they didn't just talk the talk, right? They walked the walk. We're talking weekly safety reviews with the executives, so everyone knew what was going on. They were in the room, actively planning for risks before a single boot hit the ground. And maybe most importantly, they were out there, on the job sites, in their hard hats, seeing it for themselves. That visibility is huge. And of course, that commitment was backed up with actual money. They spent on better gear, they invested in modern digital tools for reporting, and they beefed up their training. But here's the real game changer. They set up safety contingency funds. What that means is a project manager could spot a hazard and get it fixed immediately. No waiting for approvals, no red tape. It's about removing every possible barrier to staying safe. Okay, on to our second pillar, and it builds right on top of the first one, creating an integrated team. The whole idea here is simple. You have one high standard for safety, and it applies to every single person on site. No exceptions. Their philosophy is actually pretty profound. Subcontractors aren't just hired help. They're treated as full-on partners in the safety system. That one mental shift is massive because it closes all those dangerous little gaps that can open up when you have different teams playing by different rules. And this slide really lays it all out. On the left, you've got the normal way of doing things, everyone in their own silo. But look at the right. That's the TruGrid way. One team, one standard. They vet their partners carefully, they have shared meetings, and, this is a big one, they give everyone, including the subcontractors, the authority to stop work if they see something unsafe. That's trust. And you know, the proof is in the pudding. By being so selective about who they work with, the average safety score for their subcontractors was a mind-blowing 97.6%. That right there tells you their integration strategy is absolutely working. And that brings us to the third and final pillar, constant improvement. This is where they really separate themselves. It's a total shift in mindset from just following rules and reacting to problems to proactively learning and making the whole system better, all the time. For these guys, training is not a one-and-done thing you do when you're hired. It is a constant looping cycle. It kicks off with site-specific training. Then it's reinforced with daily toolbox talks, deeper weekly topics, and annual refreshers. The whole system is designed to keep safety at the front of your mind every single day. And get this, their training completion rate was over 98%. That number tells you something really important. This isn't just management checking a box. The team is actually engaged. They're bought in. Now this might be the most brilliant part of the whole system, how they handle mistakes. Any near miss, any close call isn't something to be swept under the rug. It's treated like a gift, a free lesson. They dive deep to find the root cause, which leads to real changes, like redesigning how traffic flows or planning a task differently. They're learning from what could have gone wrong. So when you put these three pillars together, you've got the strong leadership, the truly integrated team, and that drive for constant improvement. What you get is something much bigger than just a good safety record. You get a true safety culture, where doing things the right way is just part of your DNA.
I mean, the numbers really say it all, don't they? Over a year, over 200,000 hours of hard work, and that perfect .00 TIR. That isn't luck. That is the direct outcome of the culture we've been talking about.
Justin Wittenberg, who's the senior director of HSE at TruGrid, he summed it up perfectly. He said, "It's about alignment, accountability, and a culture where teams are empowered to act." And that last part is everything, empowering people to act before the bad thing happens. But maybe the most powerful result isn't a number on a chart at all. It's the change in the people. The teams on the ground actually say they feel more confident. They communicate more openly about risks, and they feel genuinely empowered to use that stop work authority. That is what a real safety culture feels like. So as we wrap this up, the big question isn't just, wow, look what TruGrid did. The real question is for you. Whether it's making leadership more visible on the ground, or truly making your partners part of the team, or learning from every single close call, what's the one piece of this blueprint that could make a real difference where you are?